Hey lovelies, welcome to class. My name is Gift and today I'll be teaching you on how to fix elastic bands like joggers. Okay, first thing what we will need is our waist measurement to use in cutting your elastic band. Then what next is for you to join it the way I'm doing it. Okay, so you have to double stitch it for durability so that it won't rip off once you continuously wearing your trouser. Then the next thing you have to check if it's actually strong enough. So we are good to go. So on this tutorial we are using 2-inch elastic band for our waist. Okay, as I said earlier, we are making use our initial waist measurement because at the end of I'll be adding belt rope to it. Don't forget to cross check your waist, your elastic band. Make sure it's your actual waist measurement. First thing you have to, after sewing your trouser, you have to take the circumference of the waist. That is what we are using to cut the band. So if your circumference is 40 at the end, you have to cut 40 inches plus half-inch sewing allowance for joining. So that will be the length. Then the width of this band will be 3 inches on fold. That's when you open it up, it will be giving you 6 inches. So when you fold it into two, it will be giving you 3 inches on fold. So you have to press it so that you have a neat band. Okay, so next thing you have to do, you just have to cross check your measurement if it's giving. Like my unfold into two, I have 27.5. that is my waist circumference. So after joining, I'm having 27.5. So what I'll be doing next is to measure 3/4 from the center front. I'll chalk 3/4 round. From the line again, I'll chalk 3/4 down. That's 2 line 3/4 interval. Okay, that is what I'm going to chalk round the whole band for tutorial sake, so that it can be beginners friendly. Okay, so that everybody can relate. Then you go ahead and notch 4 corners of the band because it represents the center front, the center back, and the 2 sides of your trouser. Okay, once we proceed, you understand the reason why we have to notch. The next thing is for us to insert our elastic into the casing, okay, into our waist band. You have to insert it. Then the next thing is for you to get the notch part of it. You start from 1 notch. So once you are sewing, make sure you're not sewing on top of your elastic. You have to leave a space of either 1/4 or 0.25 interval. That's away from your elastic bands. This purpose is just to put it in place so that your elastic bands will be sitting perfectly on your waistband. And don't forget, you have to shift your elastic band closer to the center front. Okay, so you discover the elastic is quite shorter than the band, you just have to pull it out the way I'm doing it. Then after I'm done, I have to make sure the ruffle, spread the ruffle evenly on all corners of the band so that it will sit pretty well on our casing. So our next part is for us, you remember the line we chalked on our band. It's time for us to sew it, and you start from one end, and please, before you sew, you have to stretch it. You pick one side of the ruffle, you stretch, you sew to where your hand is before you move your hand. Then you pick another ruffle, you stretch, you sew. That is how you are going to do till the end of that first line we drew. Hope you're following. Then we have to go down to our second marking. we marked 2 lines on our band, so we are finished sewing the first line. The next thing is for us to sew on the other line. We came down by 3/4 as well, so we have to sew the other line. You have to check for another part, put your needle down, you stretch and you sew. Without our markings now, your lines can be very straight and even. So you continue stretching, you sew. Make sure you're not leaving your hands. Make sure you sew to the part where your hand is before you remove your hand from the cloth, so that our ruffle can have even shape. Okay, so on this part I'm trying to check if everything aligned here. Yes, our band is looking pretty beautiful as it should be. The lines are straight, the ruffles are fine, they're all sitting pretty well. The next thing is for us to join into our trouser. Okay, you have to join into our trouser. Remember, we notch our band before we inserted our elastic, so you are going to take one notch to the center front, you pin it down, one notch to the center back and one notch to the two side. Okay, so you just pin it down, then you sew. So don't forget, due to the elastic, the hem part of the band is looking as if it's being shrunk together, as if it's giving you a little bit of gathers. Don't panic. What you have to do is just to stretch it out and sew. You stretch, don't pull, please don't pull, just stretch it out so that it can be straight, so that you will not sew with the ruffle look. It will give you gathers at the end. You stretch it out, then you sew so that the band will align with the trouser waist. Okay, and make sure all notches are actually aligning with the parts you pin. Okay, as you see me now, my notch is gotten to the waist, the side of the trouser, and the notch is actually aligning on the side of the trouser. Next we proceed. As we sew, we get to the center back of the trouser. My notch too is aligning to the center back of the trouser. That is how you keep going till you get to the other part of where your sewing started. Okay, so keep sewing. Make sure your hands are straight, please. Make sure your hands are straight and be intentional. Once it's not straight, please lose and start afresh. Okay, so you make sure all threads are being cut out. Threads you don't need out, you remove them. So you can see how our band is sitting pretty well. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to weave around the rough edges and the inside part of our trouser. Yes, in this particular trouser is palazzo trouser actually. So what I'm going to do now, I'll be attaching my rope, fastening rope, so that they can tie it. I use her actual waist measurement on the waist. Okay, if you don't want rope, you can minus 4 inches from the waistband, from your initial waist measurement when cutting a band. So for tutorial purpose, what you're supposed to do for the rope is to add eyelets. Okay, but due to tutorial purpose, I did not add eyelets. What I'm going to do, I will be from the center front, I'll take 1 inch back and forth. I will use my scissors to notch open a hole where I can pass my rope. Okay, but if you're doing for your client, make sure you use eyelets, please. From the center front to go back by 1 inch and go forward by 1 inch, then you can insert your eyelets before you add your elastic to it. Okay, so once I open a hole, I'll be using hand needle to cover the rough edges. Once I'm done with the inserting the rope around the waist, I will show you how the end result look like.